example of Immortal Arms being played. So you start off by drawing a card for your character. Then you draw a card for your weapon. These cards will tell you which dice what you're going to need to play with. So, and then we're going to start, we'll just go right into it. We'll start with our first round. So I'm going to roll a d4 to figure out what attack I'm going to be using. And I got 1, so that corresponds to the red attack. She got a 3, so that's going to be the third attack, which is the gray one. So you collect those dice. I've got an 8 and a 4. She has an 8 and a 4 also. All right, then we're going to roll and compare our results. So I got a total of 10, and she got a total of 7. Okay, and I also maxed out this die. I rolled the highest possible number on here. So it's going to be an automatic 1 point of damage. So and we always start with a d20 on here with the same number of hit points as the card indicates. So she takes 1 automatic point of damage, so she's down to 11. Go down to 11. And then we have to compare our results. 7 versus 10, so she's going to take 3 more points of damage. And that was just the end of the first round. Then we go into the next round. And again, I got a red, which is 8 and a 4. And she got the same thing as well. So it's a D8 and a D4 versus a D8 and a D4. This time I got 9 and she got 9 also. Neither of us maxed out any of our, oh actually I maxed out this die because I got the best possible one. That's a 4 on a D4. So she's going to take 1 point of damage again. None of hers are maxed out. So even though we tied because I maxed out this die, she takes the 1 damage, I take nothing. Right, let's do one more round. We keep going until somebody's defeated. Ooh, I got 4. That's my choice.
2.
So she's going to get a 4 and a 10, which is a good one. I get to choose which one I want, or take this +1 bonus on my rolls, and I have to roll again, and I have to take whatever I get. But I think I'm going to stay with this one because I'm going to choose and ignore the bonus because I can get a 4 and a 12. So D4 and a D12 is a pretty nasty, powerful attack. So it's my D4 and 12 versus her D4 and D10. Got 15. And not only that, I maxed out this D4, so you're going to take 1 point of damage. And my 15 versus her 3, that's a pretty nasty hit. So that's going to be 12 more points of damage, which will put her character down because she only had 6 left. That's the end of this round of combat of Immortal Arms. Hey, we're back for another round of Immortal Arms. This time we're going to try with the optional rules cards, which actually add a lot of extra strategy and fun to the game. So we're going to start just like before. We're going to draw character cards. And we'll draw weapons cards. So she drew character first, so I draw weapon first. Then we're going to pull out a rules card as well. Okay, I'm going to set up my hit points. Double check to see if I get any extra bonus for my weapon. This weapon does not match the weapon that this character gets a bonus with, and neither does hers. I have 12 hit points. She has 10, which might seem like an advantage at first, but she does have extra powers on her character that make it worthwhile. A little bit stronger attacks. Also with this rules card, it says that we're going to get +1 bonus to all red attacks. So when we do our attack selection, when you roll a 1 and you get the red attack, which is speed, you're going to get +1 on each of those dice. So if she gets it, especially with her red being her strongest attack, I think she's going to have a pretty good, easy match here if she keeps rolling 1s or gets a choice. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll roll our D4 for attack selection. I got a 2, which is a D6 and a D4 for me.
1.
She got a 1, which is a D8 and D12 for her. Plus, she gets a +1 on each of them. So this could be pretty hard for me. We'll see how this goes. All right, I got a 6 and a 3. She got an 8 and a 1. This one is maxed out. So whenever you max it out, I automatically take 1 point of damage. It puts me down to 11. I also maxed out my D6, so you're down 1. And then it's 9 versus 9. Or it would be if it wasn't for this. So this actually gets +1. This gets +1. So her 9 becomes 11 versus my 9. So I take 2 more points of damage. Let's go to the next round. I got off easy that time. All right, I got 1, which is a D6 and a D4. Not the best. She got a 1 again, which is her strongest one. I'm going to pull a block on this one. So when you block, you're not going to deal any damage. Even if you win, you're not going to deal any damage to your opponent. But I get to double my dice roll because I'm worried about her D8 and D12 plus 1 on each. So this is part of the strategy of the game here. All right. So I have a total of 5, which is not great, but I double it to 10. Remember, I can't deal any damage to her. Whereas she got 7 plus 2, 8, and 9. So I actually managed to block that attack, and I don't take any damage. All right, next round. So that was my 1 block for this match. So we're going to see, hopefully I don't need it later. I got a 2, so I'm going to use a D6 and a D4 again. Oh, she gets a choice, and I would definitely choose her strongest attack, which is red, which is going to give her plus 2 again. Or plus 1 on each dice, so it's like plus 2. All right, here we go. This might be the end of me here. All right, I rolled a whopping 4. All right, she has 7, but remember she gets plus 1 on this one and plus 1 on this one, which goes up to 9. 9 versus my 4, so I'm going to take 5 damage there, knocking me down to 4 hit points. This might be our last round going here. Let's see how we go. I need to pull something out here. I need a really good attack. All right, it's 2. So her D6 and D4 versus my D6 and D4. 6 and 6, but she maxed 1 out, so this D4 is maxed out, so I still take a damage even though we tied, and I'm down to 3 hit points versus her 9. This is kind of one-sided right here. 3, so this is my best attack, my D4 and D10. And she's going to get her D6 and D4, so this is my chance to redeem myself right here. I rolled 11 versus her 4. So she's going to take 7 damage, knocking her down to 2 hit points. So just when we thought everything was lost, it's coming back. And I get a choice. I'm going to choose, whenever you roll a 4, you get to choose. I'm going to choose my best attack, which is a D4 and a D10 again. She also gets a choice. Let's make my D4 and D10 versus her D8 and D12, probably for all the marbles. This is probably going to be the final attack. Here we go. And I rolled a 10 versus her 9. But remember, she chose this. So she chose her red attack, so she's going to get plus 1 on each. So she has 9, 11 versus my 10. I take 1 hit point of damage. I'm down to 2. So this is a very close match. All right, so I get a D6 and a D4. This is my red, so I get plus 1 on each. Oh. She gets her choice again. I would definitely go for that red and do her strongest attack. All right, I got 3, but I get plus 1 on each, so that's 5 versus her 8, even before we add the bonus. So she's at 10 versus my 5. I'm out of here. So she defeated me. So when you add these rules cards, it actually adds another layer of strategy and fun to the game, and there's 36 of them. And this is not even touching on multiplayer elimination modes or other types of game styles. So hope you enjoyed this peek at the game. All right, we're going to take one more peek at Immortal Arms. We won't actually play the battle, but I'm going to show you what it would look like if we do a 3-character elimination battle. So I'm going to draw a character. My opponent will draw a character. We're going to keep going until we get 3 characters. And now I drew first on the characters, so she's going to get to draw first on the weapons. All right. And this character special doesn't get to use weapons, but he has a special bonus. So, all right. So some of them can't use weapons, that's correct. So then you would match them up. So you could rearrange them in any order you wanted. So you could lead off whichever character you wanted to. So maybe I wanted to start with this guy or with this guy, depending on how it goes. And then as one gets defeated, so let's say this character defeats this character in the battle, but still has 4 hit points left. That character will continue to fight against my second character until either my second character beat her first character or that one also got beat. So you could very well do a run where you knock out 3 characters with just one of yours, or it might go back and forth. You can also add in rules cards as you're playing. So you might throw in a rules card which would be in effect while the first 2 characters are battling. And as soon as one of them is defeated, the rules card goes out And the next rules card usually doesn't come in until her second character is fighting against my second character or against my third. So they have to be new characters in play for you to pull out a new rules card. So that's just a peek how it would go. And otherwise, the dice and the rolling goes just the same. Hope you enjoyed this look at Immortal Arms.